Movie night is here, and boy, were we fed. Episode 25 from start to finish, full recap. If you haven't watched yet, save this and come back after you watch. Episode starts off with TT and Casey speaking about his conversation with Anaya. She's asking how it went, and he's like, it was good. I mean, the best part about it is that she said she has no problems with you. I'm gonna say this right now, inserting my opinion here. I think a big part of him regrets losing Anaya. He's playing it off like he's cool and all, but remember, he thinks she was on his dick, right? Like wanting him. And then at the end of that conversation, he's asking for a hug, and she's like, nah, I'm good. And I think a big part of him is going to regret losing her. I think her indifference is going to bother him with time. Carl and Anaya are talking, and remember, he's got walls up, but those walls really came down, and this is some kissing I can get behind. Jen is telling the Casa girls about her conversation with Gaul. She seems to be over him because she's not going to chase after somebody who doesn't want her. And while they're having this conversation, Jaden makes a comment about Caleb. She said she's used to men being way more aggressive with her, and Caleb is just not like that. Everything is nice, it's easy, it's smooth, and she's afraid that down the line she's going to end up hurting him. You better not hurt him. Kenzie tells Dylan about the conversation that she had with Gaul and tells him about how it ended with a kiss. And she said she really needed to have that conversation and that kiss to make sure that she truly wants Dylan, because now everything is clear for her. And Dylan is extremely upset about this. He ends up crying after she tells him. And she's blindsided by this reaction. She did not expect for him to get emotional. As he's walking away, Zach and Kata notices that he's really down, checks in on him, and he tells them exactly what happened. And Zach goes, I knew it. He's so fucking messy. Anyway, they end up consoling him because, again, he's very upset about this. The bubs are talking. They're checking in with each other, seeing how everything is. Just remember this and this friendship. There's a quick moment of Dylan in the bathroom by himself, speaking to himself and just being like, I'm so fucking stupid. I opened up my heart for no reason. He is going through it. There's a quick moment where Caleb asks, what does French fry mean? And Trinity says, DJing. So that's for everyone who is wanting to know. Also, this was shown very quickly, but I'm pretty sure Kenzie and Dylan slept together in bed. It's the next morning, and Kenzie and Anaya are talking. They're talking about the KC conversation. They're talking about the Gaul situation. And Kenzie tells Anaya that she did kiss Gaul. And Anaya encourages her, you need to tell Jen. Gaul and Carl are talking. Gaul tells him about the Kenzie situation, and he also feels that with that kiss, he realizes, man, like I feel really guilty about the whole Dylan thing, so I think I'm going to back off of that, and I think I'm interested in Amora. Kata pulls Jen for a chat and tells her about Kenzie kissing Gaul. Jen accepts it, but she's really upset about it because she's like, why am I hearing this from all of you guys instead of Kenzie herself? And because she's upset, she's like, I just don't understand what she's even doing with Gaul when her and Dylan have a great thing going. I don't know if she just likes talking to two guys or if she likes all the attention. I don't get her. Kenzie pulls Jen for a conversation to tell her about the kiss, but Jen already knew, obviously, and she said, I already know about the kiss. And Jen was very frank with her, where she was like, I just want you to know, like, if you did this in the real world, you and I would not be friends. But because we're here in Love Island, I understand why you have to do it, but like that was not an okay thing to do. And Kenzie is very defensive when she hears this, and she was like, I can't believe you would say that. Like, I'm a great friend. And she gets very defensive in the way that we've seen her kind of arguing with the men before. But there is something about this conversation that strikes a chord with her, because now she's really hurt about hurting Jen, to the point where she said, I want to cry now. So Kenzie pulls Dylan to tell him about her conversation with Jen, and she was just like, you know, doing this and hurting people, like it's not worth it. Like it just made me realize, like, I need to focus on you. And now they're good. And still they rise, I guess. Melanie and Sincere are getting along, and they make it a point to keep saying that things are really good right now, and you know that things are not about to stay that way. Gaul and Amora are talking. Remember, he thinks she's really pretty, so there's something happening here. Then they get a text, and they are told movie night is happening tonight. The villa goes wild. There's a mix of excitement and a mix of, oh man, what are we about to get into? Zach is already warning Kata, like, I'm not gonna lie, I said some shit as well. She's immediately upset because, hello, why would you need to warn her before movie night? And now it starts. The girls are on one couch, the boys are on another couch, and some shit is about to go down. The first movie is all about Zach and all the things that he did at Casa. We see all the clips of him getting to know Alana, getting all excited about like the things that they have compatible with, all the kisses that he had, and obviously Kata is really upset. And after all of this gets shown, obviously Zach is like, listen, I know it looks really bad, like I apologize for this, like I told you all of this happened. And Kata's getting upset, and everyone is jumping in, especially the Casa girls, to defend Zach. Amora jumped in at one point and said, Zach was very vocal about your guys' connection. Like, he told all of us that he was really into you. Next was all the KC footage. There's so much I can't even fit in here. The grandma comment, the we have nothing in common comment, the oh, I don't give a fuck comment. And obviously a lot of scenes with him and TT at Casa, kissing, hugging, laying next to each other, all that. The reactions were wild. Corbin is eating popcorn, cheesing. He thinks it's hilarious. KC is just mortified, and TT is reminiscing. Like, and obviously Anaya is shocked, seeing and hearing all the disrespect in 4K. Also, very important to add, while they were showing the KC clips, they showed the clip of him choosing TT, and while they're panning out, they noticed that the angel girl, Alana, is not there. So Kata's like, wait, where's the angel girl? And that's when the Casa girls tell her, oh, she was pulled out in night 2. So she realizes in this moment that Alana was not even at the fire pit. She wasn't even an option to get picked. We'll come back to this. Going back to the KC clips, they also showed the moment where Sincere was talking to TT, being like, oh, I've never seen KC happier than now, as well as all the boys kind of hyping him up and, you know, encouraging him to do that, which makes Anaya just feel sick because Sincere is her friend. KC apologizes, and at this point, Anaya's just kind of over it, and she doesn't have a lot to say, so the girls are jumping in for her. Melanie is sticking up for her. Trinity is sticking up for her, just calling out KC on how disrespectful he was. Like, they thought he was disrespectful, but to see it all was even worse than what they thought. And Anaya is just feeling like, so you just kept me around so that I was a safe bet for you to stay in the villa. She's calling out all the guys who supposedly is her friend and checking in on her. They were hyping him up the whole time, knew all the disrespectful things he was saying, and no one was telling her shit. And then TT jumps to her defense and was like, every single one of you guys at Casa pulled me aside and told me you've never seen KC happier. Did you not? Because all the boys wanted to act dumb, like, oh no, like we just believed all the things that he was saying. Then they move on, and Kata takes that moment to bring up the whole Alana situation. And she was like, wait, so why am I just finding out this new information? How come you didn't tell me? She wasn't even at the fire pit. She wasn't even an option. He's like, oh my God, I knew this was gonna come up. Anyway, they argue, and of course everybody comes to his defense and says, hey Kata, like, just so you know, like, he already told all of us he was going to choose you before we even found out she was gonna leave. Next are all the clips of Anaya. So Anaya with Carl, they're kissing, and all the times that she's like, I think I want to choose me, like I'm sure KC is exploring, right? And of course every time they show her and Carl, like, he's smiling, he's reminiscing, and all the girls are like, aww. And the OG boys are pissed. They keep making these little comments being like, oh, this is a double standard, this is the double standard. Especially Sincere and Zach. Sincere actually goes off on all the girls. He said, oh, if these clips were shown first before the KC clips, this would have been a double standard. And Anaya has to remind him, no, actually, because I was never disrespectful to KC. I never said anything disrespectful about him. And that shut his ass up, because he even said himself the KC clips were disrespectful. And I said it was never about him exploring. It's about all the disrespectful shit that he said. And then Zach's messy ass jumps in and goes, no, because you guys were down his throat before you even found out all the disrespectful things that he said. And they were telling him, no, we knew he was being disrespectful from the live stream. Then a big argument ensues. KC is getting up. He's going off on all the girls. And then Anaya gets up and gets in his face too. So it was a very big, messy, big fight, and I love to see it. Next was all the Sincere clips. There were so many. Mind you, none from Casa. It's all clips of him and Soul's connection. All of them. And they compiled them with the times that he had conversations with Melanie and lied to her face as well. So they put it all into one thing. And obviously Melanie is hurt as fuck. She's actually so hurt, she barely has anything to say. Sincere is the one who's trying to apologize. Melanie is staying quiet. All the girls are saying to her, like, don't worry, like, you were never crazy. You were never crazy. She was so hurt that she kind of like crawled back into her shell. And there was a moment where she said, I'm shaking, can you hold my hand, to Anaya? And this part was so, it made me teary-eyed, because the way that she said it was like a little girl to her mom. It just shows you the isolation in this moment, because these girls are all each other has for comfort. And that's how the episode ends, because movie night is going to continue on Thursday night. From the first clips already, it looks crazy. If you guys made it this far, you're a real one. Leave a popcorn emoji in the comments, and I will see you guys Thursday night with another recap. Thank goodness we got a day of rest tomorrow, because these take a lot out of me, so I'm gonna get some much needed rest. So good night.